Okay, good afternoon, learners. You're welcome to this session. This is a recording about what we call a product and project under operations management. And being informed that the Canada were not in class when we were studying products. So that's why we have made this recording such as out can be helped by listening to this recording. Again, I will go to review this topic product. So we need to ask ourselves what is a product? Product and service. So why am I putting these two items? These two items go hand in hand. Remember, we talk about the product and the service. The product is tangible and the service is intangible. So when we talk about product, the tangible items that we produce, we manufacture, we purchase, or we supply. However, when we talk of the service, we talk about the items that we don't touch but we supply or provide to our end users. So these two always go hand in hand. That's why I have explained what them as a product and a service. So let's talk about the service first. Service packaging. Remember, when we talk about in the introduction of operations management, we need to understand how we operate, when we operate, and the use of operating. So we say that the reason why we operate is because we want to bring these products, manufacture them, and bring them near to the customers, to satisfy our customers or to satisfy our end users. So that's why we, as providers, we can produce a service or provide a product. And so we have started with the service. And we are saying the value of goods and services is what Fitzsimmons 1994 explained in the service package. However, I have said according the same one, different words but same meaning. Anything intangible uh, is what we call a service. Meant for the customer satisfaction is what we call a service. A good example of a service is what we call good example like music. You may say I need to give my guests some music, but it is a service because you will not say this is the music. The musician will come sing and go away. So they provide what we call a service. The cooks provide what we call a service by cooking. You can't say this is the cooking, but you can see the food, the outcome after the service has been performed. So, the product concept or service package should be defined. That is what to do customers. What do customers want from the business and how does the business see that it is provided. We've just talked about that the final objective is the customers. So we need to talk about very many things, but we should know that as long as we're talking of the product or service package, the final customer or the final people, end users must be satisfied. Four underlying elements in a service package. Supporting facility. If you want to provide a service package, a complete one, you must have a supporting facility, which is like physical resources. Those are vans to take you or to take the service, the furniture, the premises where you provide it from, that is a supporting facility. Facilitating goods. What are facilitating goods? Materials bought or consumed by the buyer, like the conveyor for packaging. These are they facilitate service. Explicit services. What are explicit services? Readily observable benefits and essential features. Example, expertise, knowledge, and names. You must have the knowledge about the service you are providing. This you must have. I'm hoping you understand issues that each service must services must address what the best location Service provider must know where they are located. Choose the best location. Is the best interior arrangement. Because if you open up a restaurant, then the layout must be the best. No one wants to eat from a organized restaurant. So you must make sure that your layout is nice. What kind equipment and technology? Which equipments are you using? For example, are you using a frying pan? Are you using those fryers? Or are you just roasting the chips? So all those are important. I'm giving myself a break so that we are able to understand. Give you some minutes that you're able to understand that slide. Characteristics of services. Just like you said, services are intangible. You can't touch a service. Service output is variable. It varies. One will sing today and sing very well. The other will sing and they will say, oh, but it has changed. So they vary. Even cooking, the taste may not be the same. Services are perishable. They perish. Today you were the most hit musician needed. The other day they have forgotten you and they are looking for money. So the service is something that will expire so fast. In other words, there are very many characteristics, as you can see. The service design process. How do we design a service? The service concept defines the target customer. The desired customer experience for the service is different from others and how it will favorably compete in the market. So in other words, you have to design. When you're designing, the design must be different and that design must target your customers and the experience that you have. So how does the design look like? You are looking at this chart of the design. That is how a service design is supposed to look like. Let me keep quiet for like 2 minutes that you're able to see it and digest it before I explain it. Members, hoping you understood it now. So when we talk of a service, when we talk of uh, when we talk of a service design process, we start with the service concept. You must have a concept. Where do you get your concept from? You must have what you want. That is according to your desires and the customer that you feel like you can provide all your targeting. So once you have that, then you package your service. How will it look like? What will be the benefits? Then performance specification. Specify who is supposed to be your expected customer and your required customer. Then design the specification in form of activities, which facility, where are you going to operate from, etc. Then once you've done that, deliver what you feel is what you want to provide. And once you have delivered, we say you have provided what we call a service delivery. And that is the process for the design, the service design process. So challenges in managing service delivery system, we had this, and according to our lecture in the first with the main campus, we had said students will look for the information. So Kampala campus team too, the challenges are very many. Please get time, go to the books, library, and get information about the challenges in managing service delivery system, the design of the production system. Okay. production system. The design process preliminary depends on the relationship between the marketing design and the operations. This is what we just talked about. That once you are designing the system, the production system, then you must make sure you match the production system with the operations. Get your design and make sure you match the so once you match them, then it means that you are trying to see how you can produce or come up with a better production system. Roles of functions. Which functions? We're talking about the production function, the marketing, the engineering, and operations. What are their roles? We are looking at them here. To evaluate consumer needs, do market research. There are very many, by the way. I don't want us to only pick on the three. That's why I don't want to read and make sure that we are the three we are cramming. There are very many reasons or roles of marketing in production. Marketing helps us in different ways. It will give us the customers, it will open the business to different, to expand its capacity. So there are very many importances of marketing. The sales, it affects sales by the way. Marketing affects sales. Once there's marketing, then there's increase in sales, there's increase in profits at the end of it all. Engineering, carrying out products, services, designs, and so this is making the product now. Operations, production of goods and services as designed using the specified process. You are written here. Product design. We've been talking about a service. Now we are talking about a product design. We are saying this. Remember, we said the product is tangible, something that you can touch. Which materials to be used? Which this specifies which materials to be used. When you say I'm designing the product, then you must know which material to use. So if the design will explain if it's wood, you saying we use two pieces of wood, we use metals, we use iron sheets, we use etc. And at the end of it all, you come up with product. So the design process. How do we design a product? One, we start with idea generation. You must have an idea. Feasibility study, that is moving around to see if the idea we are talking about is in reality or we are dreaming. Preliminary design, come up with a simple design to see if it can be made. Form a design, form it as you're making a preliminary design. Finally, form a design that you feel this design will be able to uh, produce what I want or explain what I want to give to my customers. Functional design. The functions, is it bringing out what you want it to bring out as it's functioning, as it's being used by the customer? Production design, final design and process. The final product should be satisfying customers, that is going to satisfy the customers, be able to be produced economically. That is a good product now. As you are designing the product, produced economically and efficient, the lowest cost, be of good quality, easy and safe, and reliable to use, have good ergonomic. All these are characteristics of a good final. Members love to talk about value, explain what value is. So we are saying intrinsic worth or goodness of the thing is what you call value. Why are we talking about value? Because when we are talking about a product or a service, we need to know that the customers don't just buy a product, they buy something that is of value to them, that is useful to them. So that's why we also explain value. And we are saying the intrinsic growth or goodness of a thing is what we call value. It is what a customer is willing to pay for the perceived level of satisfaction. So even if you produce very many items, good, fancy, but they are not of value, they are not worth of a customer, or they are not of value to a customer, then they will not buy because customers buy that value, something that is useful to them. Value adding activities refer to the differences between what the customers pay for a product and the cost to the organization for producing goods and services. So members, I'm hoping you understood what we call value. Okay. Cost is necessary, and that is unnecessary costs are there because of past practices, constrained thinking. So usually we can't avoid unnecessary costs, but we are trying to explain how they come up. And we are saying sometimes our past practices bring unnecessary costs, difficulties in creating things. Sometimes we fail to create and delegate. So we pay someone to do for us things. Once there's any difficulty, then it means we must off a cost or create a cost to make sure that thing is created. Let's look at value analysis procedure consisting of a systematic examination of the component of a product to see if the company is getting value for. So value analysis is to ensure that the products being produced or the service being provided is provided at the lowest cost that will create value for money for that particular organization. We are saying a systematic approach to reduce the cost of a product without impairing neither its function nor its quality. We don't tamper with any making. We just try to reduce the cost, analyze the steps in value analysis. Select a product on a rational basis. So if you want to make what we call value analysis of items, you can say, I'm going to analyze the value of having slashers. Choose the team that the real team that uses the slashers. Go from among the two functions. What does it do? They slash, they fill, etc. Record facts. Write them down. Their functions. Do they slash only? Is it important or not? Establish a ranking system. All the activities they do, rank them down and see if they have value. And the one with the highest value comes first, the one with the most lowest goes last. Determine the quantities involved for the product and its what do we add in to make sure that these slashes work? New ideas. Do you have anything that can replace the slashes? And how is it costing us? So compare the two and then come up with the results of value. Variety management. Um, we have talked about value, we have talked about a product, we talked about what value. Now we're talking about variety management. Sometimes as we are producing, we also produce variety. And we need to know that variety is managed. Because if it's not managed, then it means it will go out of hand, and the company will not know how many items they produce in a day, and how does it affect them in form of affecting demand and supply. So the goods manufactured and services offered, methods and procedures used, materials and implementation technology. All these are things we want to talk. Okay, the benefits of variety. Benefits of reduced variety. We are having great benefits, implication of reduction. So we are having benefits against the implication here. And we are seeing reduced buying effort. Once the variety reduces, then even the people reduce, the people buying, their effort reduces. A good example is if you go to the shop and find only one mode of shoes, you end up not buying. Why? Because maybe you don't like it and you want another one and you don't have it. So the implication, greater buying, intensified selling. Once you reduce variety, and also the selling effort increases, yeah, then the market will also narrow. So remember, both you can do this yourselves. So in case you have any questions, feel free to come around and ask. Okay? So with the main campus team, we had agreed that we will sit down and do some numbers, mathematical numbers in Pareto. So some applies to Kampala campus. Next week we'll be doing numbers about Pareto analysis. Pareto analysis is under variety management, mathematical understanding of how we manage variety of products or services. Thank you very much. God bless you. Bye.